Welcome to the pop. Welcome to the pop. On the Morning Brew Sports Network. With your hosts, Gene Fitzmagic, James Woo, Nigel Down, and Caleb Pinky. The Pop-Off. Welcome to the Pop-Off. Welcome to the Pop-Off.
We're on a new channel, new home. It is me, Gene Fitzmagic, my man Caleb Pinkett, my man James Woody. No Nigel Downer. We didn't cut Nigel Downer in the reboot. He's just not able to make it today, so he will be back starting next week going forward. But you'll find us every week Tuesday. We used to be on Tuesdays. Every week Friday at 2 p.m. here on the Morning Brew Sports Channel. And guys, are we excited to be back? James, I know you were. I saw your clip. You were like you cut a wrestling promo.
Almost had a heart attack. I'm so excited. You guys talking to you guys is like therapy. So definitely we will be reacting every Friday at 2. My entire household, everybody in my house, including your boy right here, is sick. Oh my God, we coughing, we sneezing, a lot of mucus. But I would have to be in a coma to miss this first episode of the reboot, the Pop-Off. Let's get it.
There we go. Sir. I see Movie Mania Nick is in the chat. He was one of our listeners from day one, so we want to say what's up to Movie Mania Nick. And it already came up.
Yo.
Caleb, we're going to talk about Jonathan will talk about Aaron Donald in a second, and we will talk about that. But how are you doing, my man? It's been a minute.
Listen, I can't complain. You know what I'm saying? I'm still living, so that's good enough for me.
Show everybody your T-shirt. Show everybody your T-shirt. Yeah. This is my favorite T-shirt in the business right here.
Yeah, listen. If you're not your own favorite, your own number one fan, then you can't expect nobody else to be. You know what I'm saying? So there's that.
I hear it. Now we're going to talk a little. We're going to talk a little March Madness. We're going to talk a little NBA. We're going to talk a little NFL. We're going to talk a little UFC, a little boxing. But something that just came up just before we came on the show is Aaron Donald retiring. Are we surprised? He just restructured a couple yesterday, the day before.
Yeah.
Who's surprised at this? I know he's been teasing this for years. Are we surprised that it happened today of all days?
No, not me. Not at all. Well, Today, yes, I could say, today, Friday. I wasn't expecting it. It's more like a Monday thing. But if you think about it, retirement, it's like, no, it's Friday because it's like the long weekend, extra long weekend. You know what I mean? But it's not surprising at all. He was, like you said, he was teasing it right after they won the Super Bowl. He was teasing it, right? And how many years ago was that? At least 3, right? 3 or 4, no more than that. But so he was already contemplating it then. And it's really interesting what I'm noticing with a lot of these football players, because they're getting a whole lot more guaranteed money. Mm-hmm. Now they can make those decisions. Because remember, one of the greatest linebackers who I thought in the game that to retire early was Patrick Willis on the Niners.
Yes,
he was ridiculous, and he left at I think like 25, 26, right? And he was worried about health issues, and he was mainly talking about this health, right? Not mental as if he was crazy, but CTE, brain damage, stuff like that from the blows, right? So he wanted to leave, and I think a little bit of that is on Aaron Donald too. It's like he's like, okay, I can keep playing and get injured and make more money, but the more likelihood that he's going to win is smaller and smaller. And then 2, the damage that you're going to take, whether it's a 0-18 or 18-0, you're going to take the same amount of damage. You know what I mean? So I don't think it was worth it for him. And he's still a young dude, got more money than what he can do with. He's got a young kids. I think he's got like a young daughter or something. It's like, live your life, man. Go enjoy it. Like, you're still young. You're in great health. You're mentally there. You're physically there. You can still run around. I think it's a beautiful thing for him. He doesn't have to dedicate his entire life to football.
And let me just shout out Patty Puddles. Patty Puddles, we miss you, my man. He's in the chat. Patty Puddles, a guy, right? Don't you kind of feel like it was only like, he's not that young, right? I mean, he's not that young. Aren't we getting to a point
Listen,
where
I'm 44, and I feel like I'm still in my prime. So if you younger than that, you are a young man. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear nothing. Now, you might be old in your profession. 44 in the NBA, I'm an old man. 44 on the football field, I'm an old man.
But that's what I'm saying.
Life, but not in life.
But that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of miles on those legs.
Yeah, but he's
32. 32 is not.
Yeah, and he's not running up and down the field.
But he's got a big body. He's a big body.
Listen, it's 30-second increments. Hike, boom, 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 woo, whistle, woo, woo. All right, good down. Good down. You know what I mean? Like he's not chasing. If the running back breaks out the backfield, Aaron Donald is not chasing him down. You know,
I love how you make it seem like it's not that hard. The same way I used to try to equate as running back the easiest position in all of sports. Like that's pretty much what you.
It is. Everybody knows that. Ask Christian McCaffrey.
Ball and run. easiest position in all of sports.
No, I know it's hard. But what I'm talking about is it's like blast. It's like it's in increments as opposed to like if he was playing soccer. Cristiano Ronaldo got to run up and down. He ain't playing tennis. Djokovic got to cover both sides. You know what I mean? Like you got to run, you got to get the drop shot. Like there's games where you're running a whole lot more instead of just in bursts doing your thing and then you get you know what I mean? Because think about it, you got linemen at 370 pounds.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah. You can, yeah. So that's what I mean. I'm not saying it's not hard. So let me just clear that up for somebody be in the chat. Like I can't believe them so arrogant to say no. I get it. I'm just saying it's a different. It's broken down differently.
I'm gonna be honest. Defensive tackle is probably the easiest position on defense. Woody, what's your take?
It's definitely not easy for Aaron Donald. The man gets triple teamed literally every single play. I mean, he
has an excuse when he doesn't do well.
Well, then that is no excuse for everybody else. How you get?
I said then he has an excuse when he doesn't make a play.
Right. I mean, but he still makes plays. He was a Pro Bowler this past season. He is one of the best.
Was he All Pro this last year? He was an All Pro, was he?
No, Pro Bowl.
Listen, we all know Pro Bowls mean jack these days. They mean jack squat these days.
What are you trying to accomplish here? Are you trying to diminish the incredible legacy of Aaron Donald?
I'm just trying to say I feel like we were eventually going to see whether it would be this year or next year. I really kind of felt like we were going to start to see the downslope of Aaron Donald, and I think he's getting out at the perfect time because he hasn't shown it yet. But I feel like within the next 2 years he would have showed his age. I
guess the world will never know.
No. But so you're a proponent of Aaron Donald not showing his age.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he, like Caleb said, and I completely agree with Caleb's point in the beginning of he was trying to dip 2 years ago. They won the Super Bowl. He was like, I've accomplished everything there is to accomplish, all pro, all that. There's nothing left to prove. Most likely Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford were like, come on, give us one more year. That year, he had injuries. So this year, he is able to end the game on his own terms. I don't think he wanted to end, injured. So now he had the one season on his own terms. They made it to the playoffs, good. But he's already accomplished, his checklist is complete.
So where would you put him ranked? Where would you put him? Top 5 D tackle right now, if he was still in the game.
Oh, right now.
What do you mean top 5? He's number 1. What are you talking about?
Wait, you think he's better than Quinn Williams?
The fact that you asked that as a question, I feel like I need to schedule an appointment for you, Gene. What are you talking about?
You're such a jet hater. All right, what about Chris Jones?
It's not even a question. Aaron Donald has been the best defensive tackle for the last decade.
I'm talking about right now. I'm not talking about the last decade. I'll give you that for the last decade. I'm talking about right now.
Right now, number 1.
Give me your over Chris Jones.
Chris Jones is number 2.
No, Chris Jones is better than him right now, man.
No, he's not.
Hey,
I don't know. I don't know if Aaron Donald, if you've seen him in like an elevator, he didn't hold the elevator.
I haven't seen him in an elevator. No, I haven't seen him in that. Wait, Caleb, is Chris Jones better than Aaron Donald, or is Aaron Donald better than Chris Jones? Honestly.
You know what? It's disrespectful to either one to say who is better. I think team fits are different. Chris Jones, though, is dominant, but we're creatures of the moment because we're watching him do these things in the games that Aaron is not in, right? So I seen Aaron Donald win a Super Bowl essentially by getting to Joe Burrow and causing an errant pass, which is essentially what Chris Jones was doing to Brock Purdy, who took your boy's spot.
Yeah. Well, Sam Darnold is now in Minnesota, so I'm not too worried. But
oh God.
But wait, so I'm not talking about 4 years ago though. I'll give you it. Aaron Donald was the best in the league 4 years ago. I'm talking about right now. Who's the best in the league? It's Chris Jones.
Okay. I mean, I just think it's a creature of the moment, like, because you got oh my God, why am I blanking on the guy on the Browns? I use them all the time in Madden. Why am I blanking? Oh my goodness. Myles Garrett, right?
You're talking about defensive lineman, yeah.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, men that are like on that level, I would say if it's in comparison, I'm gonna have to go with Chris Jones, of course, but I think it's more creature of the moment. You know what I mean? Definitely. Because just because we're seeing him in these games and he's able to show, because, you know, when it comes to athletics, when it comes to sports, it's who shows up in those big games. When you do something, it's like 10 times what somebody does in a regular season, because we put the pressure on and what it means and all of that, right?
Yeah.
But so I think Chris Jones is getting the benefit of that versus what Aaron Donald, because he hasn't played in any games that were really of any real importance outside of, they had the game against the Lions, right? And they ended up losing, and which was, I'm not even gonna get into that game because that was very interesting how that played out. But Chris was in those games that we saw in prime time that meant a lot, and he was able to do things that I'm not going to say Aaron could not have done had he been in the same position.
Caleb literally hit the nail on the head. All right. I don't even see a hammer in his hands, but he still hit that nail on the head. I'm telling you, because he's in the Super Bowl, because he's in the better defense right now, right? The Chiefs defense is a unit. They got guys, George Karlaftis, like, you know, you see them, right? You just saw them in February. You haven't seen Aaron Donald, so now you have forgotten. You got amnesia, right? Leonard Floyd is no longer there. The rest of that defensive line is no longer there. Jalen Ramsey is not making plays easier. The whole defense is not that good, but that doesn't mean that Aaron Donald has lost a step in any capacity. The man is still getting triple teamed every single down and producing. Like like I said, it's not even a question to me.
All right, well, since that just came up, we wanted to touch on it a little bit, but let's get into what we were originally going to talk about. All these moves that have happened. I don't even know how much money was spent this year. I guess with the salary cap going up, some guys got overpaid. Did you see what the Raiders paid Minshew? They gave him $15 million guaranteed.
Everybody's overpaid in the league, pretty much. Seriously.
No, you're right.
Seriously, because but it's what the position commands. It's the market. It's not them. It's the market, right? Yeah. So if a starting QB like a Daniel Jones can get $90 million, right, 60-something guaranteed, all of that, of course a backup. And let me tell you something about Gardner. Gardner's a dog. I don't care what nobody say. If he boy, let me tell you, it's like my boy Baker. Remember, hey, shout out to
Baker Mayfield with the comeback season.
Right? But listen, it's like those dudes that are dogs, if they had the talent, half the talent of some of these other dudes that just phone it in at times, like Gardner, man. So you want that on your team. And you know he's going to come in. He's going to come in, he's going to give you his all. He's going to make some mistakes, but he's not making mistakes based on being a buster. He's making a mistake trying to win you that damn game, right? So here's what I'll say. The market says that costs you $15 million guarantee. What am I supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? We gotta capitulate the union, baby. We don't want to cause no problems. Gotta pay what it is. You know what I'm saying?
So, all right. So, who do we think? Hey, Eddie Presti in the house. So, who do we think made the best move this offseason? Like, which team are we looking at saying that's the team that made a light year jump?
Titans for certain.
Titans.
Who you said the Ravens?
Ravens too. I said Titans. Ravens.
Yeah, the Titans.
Right. I think. Go ahead, Woody.
Well, no, I was going to say, I think a lot of teams got better. Like, so many teams got better. Your Philadelphia Eagles, I know you you try to be coy, but I mean, the work that was done on defense, and then, of course, Saquon is Saquon. That's the flashy one. But also what was done,
need a corner.
Reuniting with C.J. Gardner-Johnson and
you
Bryce
safety
Huff.
that.
Yeah.
Bryce Huff.
We need Poyer back there. I loved him, man. I loved him.
Miami.
Anyway, I'm not gonna get it. Yeah, I know. Of course he did.
What about I love the moves the Bears are making. I say keep the kid, man. I say keep Fields.
Yes.
You gave him an extra. You gave him all these extra weapons.
You want to because but they're gonna get Caleb. Trust and believe. They're gonna do that because
I would trade that first pick.
Because you're looking at what you could, but that means they're going to be all in on Justin, and I just don't think that they are. So they can keep him, but then he'll be the highest paid backup quarterback in the NFL.
I say this: what you could get for that first pick, and do we know Caleb Williams is going to be the guy? Do we know that? I mean, I
know he has a great name.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but we know that he has weapons. Like, they have set him up nice.
So they said the same thing for Fields, though. They fixed up the running game with Swift. What do you scrunch up your face for? You don't think so?
What do you mean? I mean, he's been in the league 3 years. Like, they didn't. I'm talking about like a nice, clean pool, a swimming pool to swim in. Right? Get your backstroke on. Fields' pool is dirty. He's already learned.
Yeah, but he has. They added like another 3 weapons for him this offseason.
Yeah, but what was the jump that we seen from DJ Moore? Was that a sizable jump?
And now he's got DJ Moore and he's got Keenan. That's what I'm saying. He didn't jump. Why would you do that? And waste a year? Or you can grab Caleb Williams. And they added DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift is going to be mean back there. And here's the thing: do we know Caleb Williams is really going to be the guy? We thought we're still waiting for Lawrence to be the guy.
Oh, are you? Don't you wait? Hold up!
Come on, he took a step back this year. Oh, he took Caleb.
Talk about the blonde wonder. That's Thor right there. Let me tell you something.
Sunshine.
Don't you ever disrespect Trevor Lawrence in front of me. That's
he's more sunshine than Thor. But let me tell you,
listen.
He took a step back this year.
What are you talking about?
He's good.
Justin Fields has never looked like he was on Trevor Lawrence's level.
I'm not comparing the two. I'm not comparing the two at all. I'm saying we thought the same thing they're saying about Caleb Williams. We thought about Trevor Lawrence, and Trevor Lawrence still has reached that plateau yet or hit that spot yet.
If Caleb looks like Trevor Lawrence
should we have learned our lesson from USC quarterbacks at this point?
Oh, that's a low.
Should
blow.
we?
That's old Jet stuff. That's old Jet stuff.
That's a little internal.
Sanchez. Oh, look at you. That ain't right.
Sanchez, Darnold, and I know I love Darnold last year, but
don't listen to Gene when he starts talking that stuff. It's all pent up Jet rage that he keeps inside his chest.
But when's the last big time USC quarterback? And they were all supposed to be good. They were all supposed to be good. Carson Palmer, maybe. Carson Palmer, maybe he's okay.
Good. Yeah, that's true. And you're probably right. And the truth is, the majority
he did have a great year this year.
If you take quarterbacks as a whole, the percentage of ones that become great and like successful and like actually real contributors to a team is very small. Yeah. It's very small. It's probably like 10%, 15% if you really think about it. Right? I'm not talking about regular dudes that just come out and can say hike and throw, as they would call them game managers, but in the disrespectful sense, right? There's a way lot more than there's Peyton Mannings and Tom Brady's and Aaron Rodgers and all it like you know what I mean? So like CJ Stroud, that's why everybody's like, right? Because nobody expected that. They expected what's happening with Bryce. That's what happens for the most part. And I feel, and I don't no disrespect to him because I feel bad for him because it just sucks. You know what I mean? It is what it is though. But and so everybody's gonna be looking to see what CJ does this year. But again, I digress. The point I was making is just the percentage of quarterbacks that come out and actually are impactful on a team is few and far between.
Mhm.
So, but you got to take the shot, because the worst thing could be Caleb is the dude, and you gave it away. They're going to talk about it for the next 30 years. It'll be 50 years from now, and they'll say in 2024. The Bears had Caleb, and they didn't take it. You believe? You know what I'm saying? Mike Wilbon will write it in his obituary. Put this in there: "Death to all Bear fans." You know what I mean? Like it's that's the kind of pressure you're under because you don't know.
That and that's the problem is the Bears will probably, no matter whether it be to keep him or not keep him. Let's face it, the Bears inevitably will probably get it wrong. We also remember when they also traded up to take
That's messed
Trubisky.
up.
But I mean, although I like the moves, I like
throwing stones from a glass house, the glass New York Jets house that still has
I gotta tell you,
13-year
Woody, I'm starting to feel like Woody is not really a Jets fan. I think he's a Patriots fan or something. He just pretends to be a Jet fan. He's just trying to get on the inside and see what's going on. But Woody, I don't.
Well, he's rooting for us now. Now that we got your best defensive lineman.
I'm just teasing. All I'm saying is this. I don't think this is a debate,
but he's really good.
I don't think it's a debate.
So you think Fields'
ceiling? Fields will never be a top 5 quarterback in the league. You know that for a fact. You do.
Fair.
Oh no, not anytime soon.
You can win a quarterback.
Could
he be a top 10 or a top 15?
Could he be a top 10 or top 15? Personally, I would
absolutely.
say
top 15. Yes.
15, could he be a top 10? Could he have a couple of years where he's a top 10?
Yes, he could. He could do top 10. He could, depending on the seats. Because listen, I've seen stranger things happen, man. Somebody just gets with the team. Like, as much crap as y'all gave me about me talking about Baker Mayfield, look what happened just with one season. And that was like an okay season. They acted like Baker came out like, you know what I mean? Because it was so unexpected. And when you do anything in this league, you get paid. Like, they give him $100 million. I'm like, you big dummies.
It could work.
I love it for him.
It could work, or this could be like, he caught lightning in a bottle.
Exactly.
I kind of tend to think they caught lightning in a bottle last year.
I don't
think this contract's gonna end well.
Oh, not at all.
Of course not. Of course not. When he got it, I said, "Hey, they're gonna trade Baker mid-season next year."
Do you think they're gonna do? I would love to see if they can do some where Baker lives in that
Russell
stadium
Wilson.
Now.
They're gonna Russell Wilson him.
And it's a shame that Nigel isn't here because that's his team. I'd love to really get his take on the whole Russell Wilson move and Patrick Queen move and all those things. But
you can, that Patrick Queen move is nice.
Oh,
that was unexpected. I was like, the Ravens let him go. I'm like, they tripping.
They're paying so much. They're already paying so much money elsewhere with that defense. I think they had to.
I know. I get it, but damn.
Well, what about your guy out in LA? Look, they one guy gets released, one guy gets traded. Who's he throwing the ball to now?
You said who's on the Bolts now?
No, I said who's he throwing the ball to now? Your guy Herbert.
Hopefully T. Higgins. That's who I be. Listen, I would go get. Oh yeah, and there it is.
And that brings us to where does T. Higgins land? Segue.
I would have him in LA with Justin Herbert. If I was his agent, that's the kind of move I'd be looking to make. Now, of course, you got to get Harbaugh on them. I mean, Harbaugh's got to want it, but why wouldn't he? He's 25 years old. The boy is ridiculously good. Herbert's already lost Mike Williams and Keenan Allen, right? It's like they're revamping. You revamp with a star young receiver like that. If he was doing that in Cincinnati, where it's cold and shivery, and Charles Barkley would have something to say about the talent in that city, come to LA, baby.
On producer says that he's coming to the Jets.
Woo! Oh,
coming to the Jets. He about to take a jet to somewhere else.
I'll say this: that isn't far fetched because you got number 12 back. Quarterbacks change everything, and if Aaron's like, "Look, I got 2 good seasons left, but I'm trying to get a chip with both of them." You tell that young boy that he's gonna want a quarterback because he left Joe Burrow That is listen, it's Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Joe Burrow in the top echelon, and then my boy Herbert right underneath, and all those other ones, right? But it's those three, and he left him. He left. So you gotta go with a dude that can get you the ball. You better not end up with Justin Fields throwing you that football. No disrespect to Justin, but what I'm talking about is it's a different level. Same thing with Jefferson in Minnesota. Okay. All that talent can go to waste when you ain't getting the ball thrown to you by somebody that knows what they're doing. And this game is a game of inches. The ball that's here versus a ball that's here. Major difference. You know what I'm saying? So
I hear you.
Just ask CD Lamb's mama.
You love picking on those Cowboys.
Listen, that's his mom said that.
Yeah,
Nice.
His whole family came out that
My
week.
point. That's the difference between a football that's here and a football that's here. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking on that, Jordan Love. Woo, we got a whole lot of love to give. I was surprised to see him do. The Packers gonna be nice.
They're the youngest team in the NFL right now.
And picking up Josh Jacobs.
Yep, another young back.
Nasty.
Keeping AJ Dillon.
Yep,
keeping AJ Dillon. We'll see what they do.
But to the point, Higgins in LA with Herbert as the bolts. That's what I would do. Like yes.
I tell you what, it makes perfect sense.
He can't waste his career with not good quarterbacks. No,
it makes perfect sense. What do you think, Woody?
I'm not convinced that he's definitely leaving the Bengals. I know he got upset, right? He didn't like the deal that he wanted, but I don't think the Bengals are trying to lose him in this league.
No, I don't think they are either. But
he wants to be paid, because didn't they paid Chase last year, right, or the year before?
No, I don't think they paid Chase yet, right? Did they pay Chase?
I don't think they paid Chase.
No, they just know they have to pay him.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, then
you're thinking of Burrow. You're thinking of Burrow.
Yeah, they paid Burrow.
Of course,
right? They cut Mixon. Like, I think they're trying to play.
Mixon was.
I think they're trying to play chess right now and try to figure it out, but they just aren't doing it on T's time. So now he's asking for a trade. I really think that they know what they have with this duo, and I don't think they're trying to give it up.
They better not, but they're gonna have to pay. These boys ain't playing no more. These athletes are not playing. Did you see in the Super Bowl, as soon as they won, what did the corner on the Chiefs, what was his name? The good one. I don't know why I'm blanking right now. You know what I'm talking. I was just saying his name. Yeah, Snead. He was like, I'm like, yo, they are not playing. He's like, forget all that franchise, 18 million. You can shove it. I want 80 million. Like, dudes, they want that.
They're gonna pay him.
The young boys say, I want that bag.
I think they're going to pay him. I think with what you call
no, you have to. He's not going to accept anything other than a pay.
Well, he might have to go, but I don't think he's going to. I think
he'll go. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's willing to leave to go get the bag. He's got a ring. He's like, I don't need no more. I don't care.
Yeah, I think he's going to stay. I think they'll be able to pay him now with the restructuring of Mahomes' deal.
They're gonna
I do have a dark horse team though for
who's your dark horse team?
This is a team that even has a worse receiving core than the Chargers. I'm going with a team that has 3 picks in the first 35 picks. Kyler Murray lost DeAndre Hopkins. They traded Rondell Moore.
Hollywood Brown.
Lost Hollywood Brown. Make that trade. They have 3 picks in the top 35. They have the capital to send to Cincy and the money to pay T, and now Kyler's career is back on track.
Well, here's another thing for you. If they were to make that trade, let's say happen, they get rid of the last 2 picks that they have, and at that number 4 spot, they're able to draft Harrison Jr. Do you think do they pair those 2 up?
Oh, that would be
they could. I mean, you go from having no receivers they might
amazing ones.
But their head coach is the former DC from Philly. He might want to get some defensive pieces, so he might actually trade down from the 4th pick if he's feeling secure with just T. And they had a rookie receiver, Michael Wilson, who did all right. So if they felt like that was the next duo, they can move forward with that. But of
You
course,
need 2 receivers these days, though. You need at least 2 receivers now. You need a good
oh
tandem.
Yeah.
tell Joe Douglas.
Oh,
Yeah.
he's in the dark retreat with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I
the
don't
last
be like
week.
that.
Aaron's
So-
not even there. He's perfecting his vice presidential speech. He's not
That's
in the
right.
dark room right now.
You never know. Crazier things have happened. Yeah, listen, Jig is right. Celso's right. I'd love to see him be on the Jets. That's where I would love to see him go.
0%.
You have zero interest in that?
No, whoa! I said 0%. It happened. Sorry. 0%.
I agree. Only because we've been asleep at the wheel the whole time, and that's the only reason why it makes me think it could be possible. Because maybe that's where they're putting most of their chips is in the T Higgins basket. But I just feel like it's not going to happen just because I just don't have any faith in what he's done. Now he's done great in the drafts. I don't blame him for, a lot of people want to kill him for drafting Zach Wilson. There's a whole bunch of teams that would have drafted Zach Wilson number 2 overall. So I don't blame him for. Yeah,
that's my point.
I don't blame him for that pick. There was a whole bunch of teams that would have picked him at number 2. So I can't blame Joe Douglas for that. And the rest of his draft picks have been very, very solid. What's he done? You don't think he has a good draft record?
No, are you serious?
The last couple of years,
his draft history outside of 1 year has been garbage. I don't even want to make a tangent right now. But first of all, he should have traded the number 2 pick. There's no excuse for drafting Zach Wilson. That's a horrific take. He should have traded that pick.
Whoa, you don't think there would have been a whole bunch of other teams that would have picked Zach Wilson?
I'm saying he should have made the pick.
I don't believe Same reason I don't blame the Chargers for taking Ryan Leaf all those years ago. A lot of teams would have taken Ryan Leaf in a heartbeat. Same thing. I think a lot of teams would have taken Zach Wilson in a heartbeat at number 2. If we trade that, we could have traded that pick. We could have traded that pick. We didn't.
Should have.
Because we did what a lot of other teams
he would have.
Dude, come on. There's a lot of Caleb.
Everybody would have taken that kid.
Zach Wilson.
Everybody would
Will
have taken
McDonald.
Becton was good that
Elijah
first year,
Moore.
and then the injuries hit. Becton was good until the injuries hit. He had a good rookie year. You remember that?
We were
excited year 2. We were excited year 2. You don't remember being excited about Becton year 2?
I mean, he was excited at the buffet. His weight was an issue.
Nobody makes a fat joke. That's not nice.
I'm telling you, like they said weight was a concern. Like you can still look it up. It's still on NFL.com.
No, I know.
So
I know.
Every other tackle drafted that year became a Pro Bowler or an All-Pro besides Mekhi Becton, who is just in the King Buffet Hall of Fame. I am saying that Joe Douglas had one good draft year. That was 2022. Every other year, he has picked duds. He keeps trading Elijah Moore. That is actually this Jets jersey, right? Number 8. Everyone's like, oh, yeah, cool. You got the Rodgers jersey. No, this is Elijah Moore. Who? That guy that Joe Douglas traded after 2 years. He has a horrific – that's actually embarrassing, Gene. It's embarrassing. Some of your takes, man. Woo! It's okay. It's all right.
Well, listen. Elijah Moore is a decent receiver, too. That he just didn't fit with what they were doing.
Right.
I think he's going to be fine in Cleveland.
Yeah, trying to play football. He ain't fit. That's true. So –
all right, so
how far?
How far?
They can win the NFC South. They can absolutely win the NFC South without a doubt.
They are where the Jets were a couple of years ago, where they had so many other good things going for them, but they just didn't have a quarterback. I think a lot of us liked them going into last year when we talked about it last year.
Their offense is very good. Their defense is good. I think the Falcons are prime. You get a Kirk Cousins indoors. You know what I mean? Like that means something. And I think they win the NFC South almost easily, like by like 3 games. You know what I mean? Like,
I think they even win. I think they even win a playoff game. Maybe even get a home. I don't want to say a home playoff game, but
well, they will get one if they win the NFC South. They will get a home playoff game. And you don't want to play Atlanta in that stadium. Like it's not a friendly environment. You know what I mean? Like it's rough. So I think So I could see them winning a game, but I absolutely see them win the NFC South. I don't see Carolina doing anything. I think they definitely beat, even though I'm glad Baker got his money, I still think it's not going to be what they think it's going to be. I think they beat the Bucks, and then I don't think New Orleans is that. I just don't, and I don't think they're gonna do anything. I think Kirk is gonna have a shot to really make a playoff push for Atlanta, at least that first game. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I pick Atlanta to win the NFC South, running away, as they would say.
I can agree with that. What about you, Woody?
It's crazy to think that he just left a team with Justin Jefferson, the consensus #1 receiver in football, and he might actually have more, like a better offense around him right now.
There's more pieces.
Yeah.
Way more pieces. Bijan, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. They signed
Algier.
Darnell Mooney. They got Rondell Moore, right? They traded Ritter for Moore. What's his name? Tyler Algier. I mean, every single person, every skill position player is above average or really good. Like Kirk, he won't have to do much. He just has to be accurate, which he is, and he'll be good.
I think you're also going to see Pitts actually take a huge leap forward this year. Finally, after all these years, I think we're going to see Pitts take a huge leap forward.
Yeah,
I think just the change in head coach is also what's going to lead to that as well. I think the head coaching, for whatever reason, they just did not utilize Pitts. They didn't even utilize Bijan Robinson. They spent what did they get him in the 7th overall, and they didn't even use him the way they should have. I think you're going to see a lot of really good changes in Atlanta. And I know I said it last year. I thought they were going to be like this come out of nowhere team last year. I'm going to put that there again this year. I know we still got the draft to go, and we still got some more free agency to go. So a lot can happen between now and then. But I think that they are going to be a force to be reckoned with, not just in the South. Caleb's right. They're going to win the South easily. They'll win it by Thanksgiving, as bad as those other teams are. But they will be a force to be reckoned with in the NFC in general, I think.
Yeah,
I
can see that.
But I don't know.
I don't know. I could. Coaching, they're going to win some games.
They're coaching Raheem Morris. All right, now they're bringing the Shanahan coaching tree over there. I think that will make a huge difference. I never had faith in Arthur Smith as a coach, so I could never co-sign all those times Gene was hyping up Ritter and the boys to be something. But right now, Kirk Cousins at the cookout, the Cousins cookout down in Atlanta with Raheem Morris, I can get behind that.
I mean, I thought Ritter was going to be decent last year. I'm not going to lie. I'll put my name. I did. I thought he would take that next leap. I thought he was going to be a guy that was going to be one of these young quarterbacks that we'd be like, wow, look at this kid. And he wasn't it. Not even close. But I know this. I know the Kohl's stores in Atlanta are probably happy. He loves to shop at Kohl's, so I know that the Kohl's are probably happy that he's there. So would you say they made the biggest leap forward? Would you say that Atlanta's made the biggest move? Having a big time quarterback like that is huge.
It's a pretty big leap. They're up there. That's what I'm saying. A lot of good teams. A lot of teams jumped up. I don't know if I would say number one.
Well, all right. So let's say this. We haven't talked about this yet. Who was the worst team? Who was the biggest loser in free agency in this offseason so far?
Dallas Cowboys.
Caleb said. Why do you say that?
Why I say the Cowboys?
Yeah, just give me your reasons.
Everyone and their mama thought that Derrick Henry was going there, right? Maybe Saquon. They didn't get any running back. Who was their running back? Deuce Vaughn?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's their guy now.
His dad is a coach.
There you go.
Home cooking. You know how Jerry likes that.
So I just don't have faith in their direction. I mean, I've talked to a couple Cowboys fans. They don't have faith. They're thinking that the window closes because now we're talking about you got to pay CD. Dak is up for money. Micah Parsons is up for money, right? And now they're going to be tied to 3 very large contracts or lose one of those core pieces. It looks like this is the last year that they have a chance. And without a running back, you got Dak. What is he going to be throwing 45 times a game? Doesn't seem like a recipe for success.
Oh, it's definitely not. That's what he's been doing. This is going to have the same result.
So speaking of Derrick Henry, what is your opinion on that? You know, that's our next topic. Derrick Henry in the Ravens. Does he make them the team to beat in the AFC?
Of course not.
Goat Mahomes. Wherever
Yeah,
Goat Mahomes is the team to beat.
Yes. Especially with Hollywood Brown?
Yeah, I mean,
which just happened yesterday.
All Hollywood does is just stretch the field. It gives them a pseudo Tyreek.
And he can actually catch the ball.
Now he couldn't for years. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't even know how he stayed in.
That's how he ended up in Arizona.
It's because how fast he was. That was it. You know what I mean? You ever see that movie Necessary Roughness? Remember the brother that couldn't catch? They called him Stone Hands. The coach was like, "No, don't throw it to Stone Hands." That's what it's like.
Orlando Brown, right? Wasn't that Orlando Brown?
Yeah, it's like come on, man.
What happened to that dude?
So there's that. But again, I think Derrick Henry makes it very nasty. Ravens are really nasty because with Lamar's speed and agility and quickness, with that kind of bruising, because like now you're nervous. It's like a fighter who has a fast jab that stings and it blinds you, but you know he got a right hand that is nighty-night. So you're like, like you freak because you don't know. You're bracing for the big one, but you can't just keep letting them pop, right? Like it's one of those things because Lamar, if you're bracing for Derrick, Lamar's going to get you. The linebackers are like, shit, oops, sorry. They're like, what am I going to do? You know what I mean? Like, and then Lamar gets 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 yards. And then you say, all right, we got to stop Lamar. And then here come Derrick. Boom! You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, that's a nasty combo. And he still got them receivers. Zay Flowers messed up in the playoffs. He ain't going to do that again. He was only 24. Like, they still got Mark Andrews. They got that dude Likely out there. Man, listen. It is nasty what they can do. I just think the quarterback play at the top level is still going to rest in KC. So nobody can be the team to beat outside of them until they are beaten. But it definitely makes Baltimore nasty.
See,
like,
my whole take on it is they already had the number one rushing team last year. So what is it to add another running back? I mean, you know,
no, but it's a different. See, it's not just another running back. It's
I was just about to say that's like King Henry.
Bruising than Gus
but I'm saying they already led the league in rushing though. What are they going to get? A few more yards?
Yeah,
a few.
They had They had goal line backs last year. They had guys that can get goal line.
It's not about that. No. It's not about the accumulation of yards. You're talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in key moments, like
the strategy.
So in the playoff game, right? And they're running these weird little gadgety plays trying to get into the end zone. Now hand it to Derrick. He's going to get you 3, 4 yards. So now you're on the 10. Now you're on the 6, the 5. Now you can run a little quick, little sweep with Lamar. Oh, he gets to the 2 or the 1. Guess who's coming?
Yeah.
Derrick. And just when they're ready for Derrick, you fake it, hit Andrews on a little quick, little slant, little thing. Boom. Like, that's the type of shit. That's the type of game it gives you. Sorry, guys. That's the type of game it gives you now. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is what is the difference between winning games. It's not about the accumulation of yards and all that. All that stuff don't mean nothing. It's about what you do in the key moments, right? Mahomes knows he can go to Kelsey. And he does it 8 out of 10 times. You saw what Purdy was able to do with CMC. Get Christian the ball, right? Like, there's certain things that they come through when you need them. And I think that is what's going to be the major difference now, adding the Derrick Henry back there with him. Because John Harbaugh is not a dummy. Yeah. And he's going to know how to utilize those two pieces. And the whole point is to keep the defense guessing. That's it. That. It's You know what I mean? So that's what I think is the biggest difference. I don't care whether they lead. They don't have to lead the league in rushing for them to be nasty, for them to really be a force. because having to deal with that in key situations is the biggest difference.
If I was them, I think I would have tried to trade for Higgins instead of I mean, would they trade within the division? Probably not. But there's other receivers like Mike Williams is available. You could have been in the Keenan Allen sweepstakes. I would have added a receiver before I would have added Henry. Being I already had a good running game. Get a bona fide weapon for. They already added some stars, right? They've already added some weapons
of Henry's ilk. I think what Caleb is saying, it's all strategy. I think this is their identity, and now they have turned their strength into a superpower. Like it's not just a strength; it's a superpower. I don't know if there's any kryptonite out there in the AFC North. It's going to be tough, but I think that's where they're at right now.
You don't think that with the running game they already had, if they would have added a bona fide number one receiver, because they thought they did it with OBJ last year, that didn't happen. They had Zay Flowers, who's a nice piece, but he's not a number one guy. You don't think if you added a Keenan Allen to that team, that would have been a better for their offense than Henry, Derrick Henry?
No, because their superpower is running. So they added into that. And listen, Zay Flowers is a number one guy.
Oh,
he's
no.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
He's a nice guy. Andrews is a top tight end.
Tell you.
I agree with Andrews. And Zay Flowers is nice.
Ridiculous.
He's not a number one receiver, though.
No, I know what you mean. I get it. I believe that he is, because I'm watching him play and I'm like, he has that type of spirit that turns those guys into that. You know what I mean? Like number one comes from in here. It's not about a skill thing. Because if that's the case, Kevin Durant would just be leaps and bounds over everybody and be floating. And he's not, because he's missing this. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, that's the difference. And I think Zay Flowers has that with talent, which I think will get him to that next level to where he can be that. And he's a little guy. And we haven't seen little guys be number one, but except Tyreek Hill. You see what I mean? Yeah. Because he was just phenomenally gifted. And then injuries changed everything for him. Yeah. But again, I think Zay has got it, and he's good enough to distract the defense. And he's not the only receiver. And then you add Likely and Andrews to that. These two, because Likely could start on another team as a tight end. He is ridiculously good, right? Both of them. You know what you do when you line up big, the single back big formation with Andrews on the right and Likely on the left, and you got Henry back there with, like, you don't want to see that formation.
That's a goal line formation for sure.
Man, it's not just it's all over the field. It's single back. So,
real quick, Celso, put up your thing about the safe space so Caleb knows it's okay to have some. You're all good, man.
Oh, okay. No. I just, hey, listen, me.
New place.
I don't know if there's kids around. You know what I mean? It's still light out where I'm at. You know what I'm saying?
So speaking about the safe space, I think we got over. I received word from Celso that we got over 100 viewers right now in the chat. 100 people in the chat.
Oh,
wow. Very cool.
All right.
I know we're on. I believe he has us on more than just YouTube. I believe he has us. Because we can only see the YouTube ones.
Look, guys. Well, listen. You guys are watching. I definitely appreciate it. If any topic y'all want to hear, something, say, hey, talk about this. Hey, this. Hey, get off that topic. We don't care about that. Talk about this. Let us know, because we want to.
Yeah, there was a question here about the Giants never building from Jonathan. Giants never built a team around Saquon.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, that's a fact.
It wasn't without trying, though.
Well, look,
I feel like they tried to. They tried to beef up the offensive line. They thought Daniel Jones was the answer.
Yes, and they had those receivers out there, right? They were trying. So
they just had they made the wrong guesses a lot.
Absolutely.
They did guess
and that's
wrong. The offensive line got hurt.
Shoot.
Like, they got decimated. like it was. I think they led the league.
But I'll tell you what, we all thought.
And then Saquon got hurt a lot too.
Yeah, that's his problem. He could never stay healthy. That might be your problem next year, Caleb.
Right. So, listen, that's why
you guys got a ton of backs, though. You guys have a ton of backs.
Yeah, the Eagles don't care. Yeah. Again, that's another reason why the position is so devalued.
Yeah.
But again, but I would agree with you that the Giants never really they tried, but it wasn't a full offense around Saquon. And I think the reason was because he wasn't dependable.
Yeah. And you know,
Like
that's the thing too,
health wise,
yes.
dependable.
Oh, for sure. And here's the thing
skill set.
too, with Andrew Thomas, he turned out to be a hell of a lineman. He's all pro. But do you remember those first year or two where he was like, he was going to be horrendous. Nobody thought he was any good in those first couple of years. They did a great job developing him. And then they went out and they drafted Neal. They did try some things, and they thought they had their quarterback. They were wrong where they are. They're still wrong. But it is what it is. So we do have a guest coming up in 10 minutes. So I do want to switch gears for a minute before our guest gets here. We're going to talk a little March Madness. Lauren Foti will be in the house. But let's talk a little bit about, we had some big UFC fights just recently. We had a big boxing match just recently. And I know Caleb and Woody, you guys, you know your stuff. What?
With the big boxing match. Stop it.
Well, okay. But
I was devastated.
Do you guys remember when I challenged Sugar Sean O'Malley to a fight? Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Because I was like, he doesn't look like a fighter to me. I think I could take him. Tell you what, I still do. I still do. But what's next for O'Malley at this point?
Well, Sean, listen.
Merab.
He's going to fight Merab, absolutely. And here's what I think, though, to be honest, right? I like Merab. I like him a lot. I don't think he'll be able to beat Sean because Sean will be able to keep him at length with his striking to keep him off of him. I just watched Merab fight. Who did he just fought like a couple weeks ago. And I saw the fight with Cejudo. Cejudo was giving him issues until Merab got around it, was able to get it, right? And he's more of a grappler. If he can get into Sean and take him down, Sean's going to have a hell of a problem because Sean is not a ground fighter. He's not good at it, right? But if Sean can keep him, Sean was working head kicks and body kicks against Cheeto. That's a new thing in Sean's arsenal that I've never really seen from Sean. He's that's utilized against a Merab because little guys head kicks, right? That's how Volkanovski got knocked out. That's how like those sorts of things. So it'll be good. I think Sean will be the favorite, and I think he would beat Merab if he can get Merab to want to knock him out. That's what Sean does. People want to get him because he talks mess. He's that weird, flashy, metrosexual type thing, all that crazy stuff, rainbow, all that. So it just irks you, but he can actually fight. So it's going to be interesting. I think that Ilia Topuria that he wanted, tragedy, you will go to sleep. It will be un bueno sueño, since he wanted to go to Spain. Un bueno sueño, brother. You mess around with Topuria. You're going nighty-night. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think this is what I would do with O'Malley. I would. Who's popping off? Well, I'll pop off for a minute because I tell you what, I think that's what I would do to O'Malley. Is I would just put him to sleep. I would get him and I'd put him in a chokehold and I'd knock him out that way. Maybe I'd do some kicks too.
These oversimplifications. Caleb, I gotta disagree. I think he called out Topuria because he prefers a stand-up fight. I'm not saying he'll beat Topuria.
No, he does. I agree with you. He does.
But I think Merab will win. I mean, Merab, I don't think he's gonna fall for the nonsense of, I need to knock him out. Those guys are, those Georgian guys, they're just dogs.
Well, look, you're right, but they got history. Merab stole the Thriller jacket. Listen, if I was Sean, that would have been the only dude. I was he stole my listen, I got to put my hands on that one right there. Me and you. You know what I'm saying? Straight up. He stole the Thriller jacket and was wearing it with no shirt on. Oh, he's got a jacket on with no shirt on? It's just complete disrespect. But they have history because, Merab is really good with Aljo. right?
Mm-hmm.
And Merab was supposed to get his title shot a long time ago, but Aljo was champ and he refused to fight Aljo. Now that O'Malley beat Aljo, he's like, I want it. And then he has that issue with O'Malley. So it's going to happen, and I agree. And Merab absolutely can win. But watching Sean in his last fights, I'm like, he's a lot better than what people give him credit for. And
Definitely.
I think he's going to surprise Merab with that. And I'm telling you, I saw that. Did you see the knee he caught Cheeto with? Now, Cheeto is my height. Imagine if you're shorter, where that's going to hit you. Here, like knockout, done, blacking out, right? That type of thing. And not saying, but it's like, those are the seconds, the milliseconds of time in a fight where you're coming in and you saw him and you went, and the next thing you know, you said, you wake up talking about, did I win? They're like, well,
Oh, by the way,
you were.
Celso, my bad. I wasn't looking at the private chat. I just noticed it now. I apologize. Apologies, my man. I tend to not always. I didn't look at the private chat. He put a message in there for me, and I did.
Cheeto's chin is elite. Okay. I will not lie.
Say again?
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah, Cheeto's chin is. Oh my god!
Chin.
The fact that he didn't even get knocked down with some of those clean hits was just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Woody, do you think I could take Cheeto?
I guess we'll have to see. I don't know. I just feel like Merab is so scary. When he was literally carrying Cejudo around the octagon like I do with my toddler son, I was like, he bring him to bedtime. Like he's just carrying an Olympic champion.
I agree, and I just think it's going to be it's going to be harder than what people would think. Because I would have thought 3 months ago, Merab wipes the floor with him, not even done. And I'm like, I don't know if it's just going to be that. Like Sean is, he plays, he makes you think he's sweet, but he's not. Like, you know what I mean? So it's gonna be it'll be dope. But I'm definitely excited for it. I was happy to see my boy Dustin Poirier. I was happy to see my boy Dustin. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, listen, I love Dustin. I'm such a big fan. And it was good to see him win because it was a little rough at first. I was like, come on, Dustin, come on.
It was rough.
Because Dustin's a dog. And throwing that left and boom.
Those guillotines.
He caught him with the right hook and just slept him like it's a wrap. And he had to dig deep for that. And he's getting older now. You know what I mean? I think Dustin's like 35. Like that's old man out there. But he still got it. It's like you walking over, but you're limping back, messing with him. So it was good to see. It was good to see that. But I'm telling you, I'm excited about this Max Holloway, Justin Gaethje. That should be the main event at UFC 300. Okay, wait a minute. UFC 300. Damn it. Listen, I am so upset. I am so upset about that.
Here's a pop-off.
The card is good, right? The card overall, but not for my main event. Really? I'm not going to listen. I love Alex. I respect Jamal. Not a main event fight. That should be a UFC fight night. You know what I'm saying? You know the fight that comes
on Saturday. Fight night is
free. What? Yes, it should be a fight night. Yes, if Brandon Marino and Brandon Roybal can fight on a because that to me should have been on UFC 300. O'Malley and Cheeto should have been on UFC 300. Right? I couldn't be more furious with that as my main card, especially with all the buildup. Oh, it's gonna be a fight that y'all ain't gonna believe, or we gonna put together. I'm like, oh yeah, the Ultimate Warrior's coming back. You know what I mean? Like I'm excited. I have no idea. Then when I get that tragedy, I was so disappointed. I was like, I don't want to see no damn Jamal Hill. Not in no main event. Like, stop it. You know what I mean? Now they said it was supposed to be Izzy and Duplessis. Cool. That would have worked because of all the bad blood, all the venom, all the years of apartheid and conquerization and colonization. It would have been beautiful. But it didn't. You didn't, and you're gonna give me that. You got my mouth all ready for some orange juice, and ain't nothing but a swallow in the container. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, guys, we got a little bit of breaking news real quick. And there we go. We got a little breaking news. The Eagles are trading for Kenny Pickett. That's your team, Caleb.
Talk to us.
You're taking Nigel's future quarterback.
I thought you was gonna have something dope.
No, that's well. Hey, how about this? How's this for you? Mike Vrabel
just got T. Higgins. I was like,
did you? Oh, I'm sorry. Kenny. Well, no, they got Kenny Pickett's not bad. He could be your future if Hurts doesn't work out. I know you have a problem with Hurts lately.
And all is well with Jalen. I met him. Okay, I was at the gold party. For the Oscars, I was there at the gold party, and Jalen was there, and I got to holler at him for like 30 minutes. He and we just talked. We cleared up all the spaces. We good.
all the bad blood, all the water under the bridge.
We cleared it up. That's my man. I'm like, all right, brother, let's go get it this year. Let's go get it. But anyway, cool. Listen, it is what it is. I'm surprised the Steelers let him go. I mean, you need somebody to back up Russell, unless they're keeping Mitch, which is probably that. So.
Oh, what's up, Isaiah, man? How you been? I haven't seen a friend in the chat. One of my buddies from New York. So also Mike Vrabel has a job now. He's getting added to the Brown staff.
Oh,
he'll be there for a year, and then he'll get a coach. He'll be there for 1 year, and then he'll move.
He'll be the Jets head coach after Saleh gets fired.
It's so disrespectful. I'm serious, and I'm not even gonna speak on Big Bill because I still feel like, come on, y'all, like, damn, like they really trying to act like the game passed him by that much. There was
talk that people wanted him to be the 49ers. Oh, our guest is actually here, guys. Should we bring it? James, you know her personally, so why don't you bring her in?
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's time to talk some basketball, and we about to do that with Lauren Foti. I'm talking about, this is somebody who's played the game her whole life, covered the game, okay, covered the tournament. Lauren, how you doing?
Doing good. I was sweating here a little bit. I had to pull out my computer, my old computer, so I was freaking out. I couldn't get connected. I was like, "Oh Lord, I'm about to scroll these guys up."
Well, are you excited for the March Madness this year?
The machine is working perfectly fine.
Yeah.
It's working perfectly fine.
Good. Yeah,
crystal clear right now.
I'm so pumped for March Madness. This is honestly my favorite time of the year. It's the best time of the year if you really think about it. You have basketball on all day.
Mm-hmm.
Especially for the first week, and then you have the Cinderella stories, the upsets, all that kind of good stuff, and the stories of the fans. So this is honestly, as a basketball player, a coach, someone that covered March Madness, this is the best time of the year.
And right now we're getting the conference tournaments. So that's a lot of fun right now. St. John's is playing well. Happy about that. Who's your obviously Selection Sunday hasn't happened yet. We don't know who's going where, right? But who do you think is some of these bubble teams that are going to sneak in?
I don't know. Yeah, I want to, I wish I could give you a good answer on that. I just don't know what the committee thinks. You know what I mean? You watch these selection shows and you're like, wait a second, so-and-so didn't get in and this team got in. So I don't really know. I don't know how to really, gauge what the committee's thinking. I wish I could give you guys a firm answer on that, but I just kind of sit back and wait. That's just my whole big thing with Selection Sunday, because who's showing up for their tournament. The conference tournaments speak volume, so it's hard to say until all that wraps up and what the committee's thinking and how sensitive and nice they are.
So do you think Houston runs the table? Do you think they actually can get to the end?
I think they can. I don't know if they're going to win it all. I don't want to say that. I think they can win it all. I think they're a good contender, but it's March. Anything can happen. This team could have a bad outing, their first game of the tournament, and end up losing. We've seen it happen before. It's nothing new with March. So I mean, they're a strong team and they're a strong contender to be a number 1 seed in the tournament, but I don't have them winning.
Who do you have?
I knew you guys were going to ask me. I'm an ACC girl. I went to Syracuse. I'm not saying Syracuse, like, by far, not at all. They're not the best. But I'll give like a little nod to my old state that I lived in for 7 years. I like the way UNC is playing. I like that they're strong. Their defense is top 5 in the nation. So I think maybe UNC could go far in this tournament.
I feel like they've won enough over my lifetime. Them and Duke,
I know.
them
That's my pick, though.
That's your pick too?
Yeah, UNC. They're a team. That's what I like about them. They're a team
right now, and they're playing so good. You know what I mean? They're playing good, and I mean, we'll see tonight against Pitt because that's going to be a good game. But I just think they're a strong team, and their defense is good. They lock teams down. Pitt's going to have a hard time. They live and die by the 3. So we'll see what happens in tonight's game. But I like UNC, and I hate to say that because I'm a Cuse girl. So hopefully none of my fellow alumni are watching this that I'm with, because I know I'll get some text messages here shortly. But yeah, I like UNC.
Kayla, who's your team that you're looking at this year?
Okay, so here's what I'm gonna say. For the first time in my life, and I'm 44, I'm only looking forward to the women's tournament. I don't care who wins the male tournament. I'm only watching the women. Let me tell you something.
All right.
I want to see Iowa and South Carolina. Woo! You talk about, this is back Magic Bird. This is back to that stuff. This is when they're like, come on, Caitlin, you got to do it for us. You got to do it for the Americans. You got to do it for us. Don't let those girls from South Carolina beat you. Don't let those, right? Like last year when it was, when you had Louisiana and everything that was going on with Angel Reese and all the John Cena and all of this stuff from both sides. And Caitlin said, that's okay. This year she just did a tear through it. It is so good now. The women have all of my attention in college basketball. I don't care what the men are on right now. I'm not even watching. I'm doing a show. Can you see that? But if the women were playing, I would be on. I'm telling you, what she has done for women's basketball has changed it forever. For the next 4 years, and it's going to transfer to the WNBA. I'm trying to tell you, it is amazing, and the competition is so there. And I want to see South Carolina. They're undefeated. You got Dawn Staley. Dawn deserves it. She ain't, go get that. And then you got Caitlin. It's like, I just need this ring, and I'm the GOAT. The GOAT. Big beard and all, right? It is amazing. So that is what I was going to say. I could care less. I don't care who wins. Duke, UNC, USC, BBC, or whatever. It is all.
Are you talking about the channel?
Yeah, I'm talking about
I hope you're talking about the channel.
Be sure about that one.
Gene,
just saying.
Stop it. And what you know about that anyway? What you know about that anyway? But anyway, like I said, it is the women tournament right now. Has all the attention. I just watched that South Carolina Louisiana game. Let me tell you something. When them girls see each other again, it's so competitive. And what I love is they let the women play where they allow them to foul. I saw I think her name is Van Vleet or something. She's on Louisiana, the little blonde white girl with the braids.
Yeah, Haley Van
She
Lille.
got smacked down to the floor. Her face was red from hitting the ground, and the ref was like, get up, play ball. No, I was like, no. My mom was like, they play. I said, Mom, these are like prison rules. They don't care about these women. What is going on? And they trash talk each other. You can hear them on the court. Angel Reese was there with the girl from South Carolina who ended up pushing the other girl. I forgot her name, Cardona or something. She's from Brazil. She was backing into the key, and Kate and Angel was right on her hip, but you could read her lips. She said, all day, all day, all day, all day. I'm like, I'm hooked. I'm like, this is what I want to see, competition. And so I am so excited about it. I cannot wait. And so I'm just waiting. And and I want to see Caitlin in the title game against South Carolina. And I want to see LSU against South Carolina to get to the game in that. I'm so excited.
I thought the
That would
women
be
did
so
a great
hype.
job
That would
setting
be
the
such a good.
tone. I think the women did such a good job setting the tone last year because that finals was a tremendous game. It was probably the best game of the men's and women's tournament. That battle, and I just seeing that, you had that go back and forth between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. It really I think we talked about it last year that was more exciting than anything that happened in the men's tournament. So I feel like they set the tone last year for where it's gone, and I feel like I've never to be fair, I was never a big women's college basketball watcher. I never, I would see what happened on ESPN. I would follow the highlights, but I never watched the games. It wasn't until last year that I felt like it was some of those games were must see, to the point where I actually watched WNBA this year for the first time, because seeing the women play, I said, oh, well, I've never really checked out the WNBA. Maybe I need to check it out. And it carried right over into this college basketball season as well. And Caitlin Clark, just what she's done for women's college basketball is
transformed women's basketball. Yeah. It's not just college, it's women's.
Yes.
It's women's. The WNBA is going to see an uptick in everything with that girl next year.
Well, that's really been on the rise, though. That's really been from a couple of players from South Carolina. I don't know why their names are escaping me right now, but it's been on the rise. The women's game has been on the rise, but this little rivalry last year with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And Angel Reese is just a beast in her own right. She is aggressive. She talks smack. She don't care. She owns it too. She owns it.
Yes.
And and Caitlin Clark is just she's phenomenal. If you look at her stats from the time that she was a freshman all the way to now, they just rise. There was never a low point. There wasn't the sophomore slump. There was none of that. And then there's players behind her that are waiting in the rings. And Juju Watkins, this girl can hoop.
Yeah.
She can hoop. And she's putting up Caitlin Clark numbers her freshman year. So she, looking at her for the next 3 years, hopefully. She's only a freshman, but looking at her for the next 3 years. The women's game is in great hands. From Caitlin Clark, from the players before her, the women's game has just been on the rise. I covered the WNBA a couple years ago, and the talent that is just coming from women's college basketball it's top notch. And that's the first thing I tell my girls that I coach. I say, listen, you want to look at good basketball? Turn on a college game. Turn on a women's college game. Look at how they spread out the floor. Look at how they communicate with each other. They're loud on the court. They're not quiet. And they move the ball and they play well. And they're aggressive. Yeah. And that's the thing. I was I coached 3 times playing basketball. I'm aggressive. I like when teams are aggressive. I like when people smack talk. I'm a typical New Yorker with the clap in your face. Love it all. Love it all. All about it.
We got a question. Celso wants to know, who would you say the top 3 women in college basketball are right now?
Well, obviously Caitlin Clark. I want to say, you have what's her name? That freshman from Notre Dame is just.
Hannah, is that her name? Hannah Hidalgo.
You got Juju. I mean, Juju's on the cover of Slam magazine, just owning it. So I would say Caitlin Clark, Juju Watkins, and then you have Angel Reese. She's fantastic as well. She's a big, and she plays bigger than her size. Not that she's small, but I would say those are the 3 exciting players to watch, and ones that are gonna, Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have big names already, but Juju has, she's averaging, I think, 27.6 points per game as a freshman.
Ridiculous.
7.9 rebounds, 3.1 assists. Get out of here.
That's crazy.
She's 6'2", and you have to watch her drive to the basket. She's smooth with it.
So who do you think they're 1 and 2 in the in the WNBA draft? Reese and Clark.
I don't know who has the first 2 picks.
Well, I don't know.
It doesn't even matter. I mean,
Indiana has the first pick. Caitlin's going 1. Indiana already said they're taking her.
That's what I'm saying.
They showed their tickets last year, $120, because Caitlin's coming. $437 now
Wow.
per ticket.
Wow.
Like just showing what she's doing.
Wow.
So she's going number one. I think Angel Reese goes after her. You know who I like?
I agree with that.
On
I think
LSU? Flo J.
I think Clark is definitely number one. I wasn't trying to put I was just saying both. I just spelled both names just from the wrong order, but I definitely Clark is number one. What she's done this year, it's going to transcend to the WNBA
Her
as well.
ability
But
to shoot the basketball.
She has no
She's
peer
the
right
female
now.
Steph Curry. She's the female Steph Curry. Like, it is what it is. And that's who Steph is going to play in the three-point contest over NBA weekend next year. It's going to be
Sabrina
Caitlin.
was
That's the
bowling,
only
though.
they're
She
gonna
was
wanna see.
bowling.
yeah, Sabrina.
Shit, doesn't matter.
Girl.
Caitlin is like, nah, it's me. You know she's
I
gonna.
don't
You
know,
know,
I don't know who's
gonna
gonna go number two. I don't know if Angel goes number two. To be honest with you,
I know that's a good point.
I don't know
That's
if
a
she
good point.
goes. We have to see who's entering the draft and what team. You know, I mean, Angel's a beast. Though,
Fit.
that's what I said. I mean, she's.
Do you ever think we'll get to a point with the WNBA where women are leaving college early, like they do in the NBA, in the men's?
The financials would have to change.
Yeah.
Like right now.
But that's what I'm saying. Do we foresee that? I think there's a huge uptick right now with the WNBA and women's basketball in general. Like I said, thanks to people like Caitlin Clark and Angela Reese and some of the likes. Do we think that could be something that eventually happens?
Yes,
I mean, that would be amazing to happen. That would
I
be.
think it can.
That would be everything. I mean,
More Juju's.
I thought growing up, Rebecca Lobo was in the league, was in the WNBA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was the biggest UConn fan. I was the biggest Liberty fan. That was my life. I lived, breathed it. I wanted to be her. I wanted to, you know. So these girls have these younger girls now growing up have these great role models to look up to, and these girls to want to pursue this. So, you know, if anyone can change the women's game and make it to the point where females are leaving college early to join the league, it would be this next group, like the Jujus, the Hannahs. I think maybe at some point, if they can get their deals right and the money right.
I agree with that I was going to say I agree with you wholeheartedly, Woody, with that, because the financials have to change, because Caitlin is going to make six figures with the Fever, right? 100-something thousand, maybe 200, right? Nothing more than that. Guess how much she made in NIL already this year?
Yeah.
$3 million. $3 million, right? It's not even a comparison. So her financial, she should stay another year in college.
Right. There's no, what am I trying to say? There's no like real reason to leave. If you have great NIL deals, unless you're bringing those deals with you through the NBA and partnering up with more brands, but WNBA,
which I think she's going to have that.
She will. No. She's going to. That's how she's going to make her
She's all
money.
set.
Is all the commercials, because she's going to get them, because she is that. They want her to be the face of American women's basketball. That's just what it's going to be. So that will help other women. They just have to market themselves in that kind of way, which will benefit some more than others. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be that, because you know some people just don't have that kind of personality. Baker Mayfield made millions because he's just funny. You know what I mean? Even though
I love those commercials with Baker.
Right, he couldn't play. He was terrible on the field for all those years, but he was making his money because his commercials were funny. Like, that's what I mean. So it's just it's gonna be interesting, but she will make her money outside and bring eyes to the WNBA. And it's gonna they say, what's that saying, that a high tide rises all boats or something like that. That's what it's gonna do, like 1,000%.
Real quick, from Morning Brew Sports, Celso says there's over 150 in the building across all platforms. So retweet, subscribe, smash the like button, all the good stuff. Please do that. I gotta ask Celso too. I know
raising our numbers.
I know we're on YouTube. There we go. I know we're on YouTube, and I think Twitter. I don't know where else we are live, so I gotta find out. I guess I should have found out before we started the show, but I know we're on more than just YouTube. So we thank everybody for tuning in. Again, 150 across all the platforms. Again, I don't know what all the platforms are. So Celso, if you could put that in the thing too, because I have no idea. I know Twitter and YouTube, but I don't know the other ones.
Help them out.
Oh, that's Twitter. It's X. There's our producer right there. What's up, my man?
I just want to give you the answer. The answer is YouTube and X. Anyway, thank you. Goodbye.
The funny thing is that's actually more bass in his. He actually put extra bass in his voice to sound like that. He doesn't normally sound like that. Now
That's
I'm playing.
good.
Yeah. So all right. So there we go. That brings us right up to the next question. Who is the next Caitlin Clark? I know now you mentioned Juju. Is that where you would go with that?
That's my answer. Yeah. I mean, like I said, she's putting up those Caitlin Clark numbers, and if she continues this, Caitlin Clark, her freshman year was averaging 26.6 points. Juju's averaging 27.6. So, if she can continue this, not hit a sophomore slump, barring any injuries, I think she can be the next. And just watching her game, she's smooth with it. She drives. She has an outside shot. She rebounds. She's fast, and she's tall. You know what I mean? So she's 6'2". Caitlin Clark's what, 6 foot, I think. So. And build is different too. She's built. She's a strong girl. So I think Juju has a real good chance at being the next Caitlin Clark or being her. I don't want to say the next. She's her own player.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so she has her own way of elevating the game, and I hope people give her the recognition that she deserves. I mean, hopefully that will be the next shift of attention for college basketball.
Yeah, and I think it's a good way to put it too. Not so much. She's
the next torchbearer.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to the word I was looking for. The next
to carry the torch. Yeah.
Yes, that's kind of where I was. That's kind of what I meant by that.
Pass the torch.
Yeah. I think Juju.
Next Clark might be in this house in the other room. I don't know.
You never know. You never know.
You never know. My daughter, hopefully, she's tall. She's only 3. She's like halfway up my chest already, and I'm like, we got a baller, hopefully.
Girl. Yes. So who do you got winning the women's championship this year?
I kind of want to see Caitlin Clark get her ring. I think that would be just the cherry on top of her fantastic career, but I also want to see South Carolina get it. I think that would be awesome. You go undefeated. It would be absolutely heartbreaking if they didn't win. They're a powerful team. They're fun to watch. Coach Dawn is just fantastic in coaching her team, and I watch like little snippets from their practices of stuff that she says. She's uplifting. She's classy. I like her a lot. So that would be fun to watch her get her national championship. It's between the two of them. It's you want to see a player who had a fantastic career get that cherry on top, get that ring, go into the WNBA, a national championship, but you also want to see a coach who has coached her butt off and has had teams buy into her system and commit to her system. You want to see them win. So I think I don't know. It's between them two.
I like that. Now, do you think if Caitlin doesn't win a ring, it takes some of the shine away?
No, not at all. Not at all. This girl is real.
Yeah, it's not. Because if she doesn't win, they'll just say it's because she didn't have a team. Like, that's what they're going to say, unfortunately. Yeah. That's what they're going to say. It doesn't have to be true, but they're going to say.
There's only so much you could do as one player.
Right. And if I was Dawn, and I was coaching, I would say, listen, Caitlin scores 80. I could care less. Nobody else better get 2.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna win. She can't you know what I mean?
You know what? I'm just so proud of the women's game. I think it's in such good hands, and it's so exciting. And I can't wait to see what the matchups are and what the committee decides and places everyone. There's some great coaches in the women's game right now as well. The Syracuse coach Leggett Jack, she's fantastic. Her snippets that I've been watching, I interviewed her a couple of years ago, and she's stuck with me. So the women's game is in such good hands, and it's so exciting. And if people haven't watched it, this is the year to really sit down and watch the women's tournament. By far, 2024 is going to be one of the best tournaments that we see.
I couldn't agree more.
Give us one of the men's and one of the women's who you think could be not necessarily win it all, but could give some teams a run for their money, maybe a little Cinderella story. Who do you think that team is that kind of be sneaky good in the men's and in the women's?
I don't know.
I guess it's a hard question because you don't know until they do it, right?
Matchups. We don't know the matchups. That's the thing. Like I gotta see. I'm very much one of the girls that like I watch the Sunday selection show and I'm like, okay, I listen to what they say about the teams. I do my research, and then I mean, James, like I'm very meticulous in my picks, and like I have to see how everyone did in their tournament before I can say who I think is going to sneak in or really be a Cinderella story. I mean, I called St. Peter's a couple of years ago. I called that they were going to go far in the tournament. So it just kind of depends on their seeding and where everyone is playing and who they're and like the bigger seeds. How did they go in there? How did they play in their tournaments? Are they kind of on cruise control? Because you see that a lot. A lot of teams, the number 1 seeds, the 2 seeds, they come in on cruise control, and you're like, oh. Guess what? You just lost by 15 to St. Peter's, or you just lost in overtime to so-and-so who wasn't even ranked during the season. This, small tier 1 D1 school that like isn't top notch just beat you because you were on cruise control. So I got to look at the matchups. I can't. I'm like very shy when it comes to my teams and my picks.
We'll have to have you back on it later in the tournament too to kind of discuss it a little bit. Sure. Celso says he's going to be sending you the March Madness squares for you to pick.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God.
That's a lot of pressure. So
too much pressure.
So
I have, brackets that I fill out. I have like my heart bracket, my like, all right, this is what's going to happen bracket, and then like my, okay, let's just have some fun and pick random teams to win bracket. My mom just picks random teams, and somehow she does better than everyone in this house.
I can only do one because I can't root I get stuck rooting for 2 teams. I'm like, I don't know who to root for. So I can only do one. It's like, I'm like that guy. Like, you don't want to do too many fantasy football leagues because then you're rooting for like the guy that's going against you, and one league he's your guy, and it's
true.
It's hard to kind of.
The 8 and 9 seed matchups get me every year. The 8 and 9 seeds are just like, those matchups are just so hard to predict because they're so close in talent and stature that you're just like, okay, well, I guess I'll do a coin flip and see what happens, because the 8 and 9 matchups are my favorites because they're just so competitive between the two.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, because it's just a coin flip about who could have been what, right? So, all right. So yeah, we do gotta have you back when we get a little bit more into the tournament. Once we get, we'll bring it in a few weeks. Thank you for stopping by and talking a little March Madness with us.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I appreciate y'all so much.
Laura Foti, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter or X, whatever the heck it's called these days, at Lauren Foti, or you can find me on Instagram at Lofo, which is LOOOFO.
Awesome. Thank you for stopping by, and we're gonna have you back in a few weeks. Hopefully, we'll try and schedule that.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one, y'all.
You too. Thanks so much.
Yes. Appreciate you.
Johnny Jimenez is here to show some love. What's up, Johnny Jimenez? Real knowledgeable, man. I really enjoyed talking to him.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know this stuff, man.
Definitely.
I told you. Hey, I only mingle with the best, and
there it is.
Yes.
Then what's your excuse about me?
Well, not everyone can bat 1,000,
Yeah.
I get it.
Not everybody gonna make it.
So, all right. So let's talk a little bit about. We haven't talked NBA at all really today. Let's talk a little NBA. Michigan fired Juwan Howard. How recent is that? Did that just happen? I just saw it pop up on my phone. Let me see when the timeline is in this. It happened like an hour ago. All right, I didn't know about it, but yeah. So for Michigan fans out there, Juwan Howard has been fired, which is bittersweet because he was a legendary player there, and then you got to fire him as a coach. That's why you never really want to bring back your legendary players as coaches, because eventually the coaches never usually quit; they usually get fired, but times are not. All right, so let's talk some NBA, man. We had some good games on last night. Are we sick and tired of the Celtics yet with the season they're putting together?
I mean, I predicted it, back in V1 of the pop-off. They were my pick to win it all. So
they look so dominant this year. I mean, they look almost like dominant. dominant.
Yeah. I mean, they filled up their holes, and now Porzingis is hurt. It don't even matter. They're undefeated without Porzingis.
Yeah, and you know me,
Okay.
I'm not a fan of Jason Tatum.
The best haircut in the NBA.
He's having a good year. What did you do last night?
You said the best haircut in the NBA?
The best haircut in the NBA. It's always crisp. It's always lined up. Always faded. You ever see it? It don't look like Kevin Durant. I tell you that.
and listen, how long has Al Horford been in the league? I feel like he's been in the league. I feel like he probably played with Bird. How long has he been in the league, bro? Al Horford
since '89.
Dude, Al Horford has been in the league forever. He was, he was drafted with Larry Bird, right?
Yeah. But here's
was
what
it 04? It was longer than that.
So my mom is a big time. My mom's a big Celtics fan too, right? So here's what I'm gonna say. She hates when I say it, but I have to tell her, and she can't deny it because it's true. Here's what it is. Remember when I was talking about the Ravens and I said it comes down to certain plays at certain times, the strategic moves that are the difference between winning and losing. And I believe Derrick Henry gives them that this year. Tatum is that for the Celtics, but in reverse. You know what I'm saying? So that means when the time comes, he gonna miss. You saw what happened. Right? You can't. He. Listen. They were. I forgot who they were playing against. It was some team. I forgot. I don't know why. It happened maybe like no more than a week and a half ago. The Celtics are down. It's like 6 seconds left. They get a 3-2 break. White is in the middle. Brown is on the side. Tatum shoots to the corner. Brown gets the ball, fakes it, dishes it to White. White's in the middle, sucks in the defense. The two guys, dishes it to Tatum. Tatum's wide open. And they lose. My point? Exactly. When it comes down to it, when you need him most, he's not there. Short. There's something on the inside that he has not reconciled with that makes him not show up, right? LeBron had to get eventually to it. It's a thing. Some people are born with it. Others have to develop it. I'm just saying, there's something wrong there. Too many times, when they need it the most, he comes up short. He'll drop 50. He's 36. They ran. Yep. Because none of it
wasn't last year he get like 50 in the first 3 quarters in the playoffs? Did he get like 50 in the first 3 quarters and then totally collapsed in the fourth quarter and they end up losing the game? I believe that happened last year in the playoffs.
My point is this: when you need him, it's where he doesn't show up. So that's where he has to work. When Tatum shows me, well, not just me, but the world that he can do it, that's when they'll get a chip. Until then, they're not getting one because it's going to come down to it, and he's not going to make it. He's going to miss the shot. He's going to choke. He's going to make a bad pass, throw it out of bounds, bounce it off his foot, go out of bounds, cause a foul, or miss the shot.
Yeah.
But not come through.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's where the next tier of guys get to, is they come through when it matters the most.
Yeah, and I know it sounds like we're picking on the Celtics as if they lost last night. They won. They won by double digits.
No. Yeah, but I'm not impressed.
But yeah,
I'm not impressed.
Yeah, and again, they were at home against the Suns.
I'm not impressed with 73-9 either. I'm not impressed with 73-9 if you go home without a ring.
Yeah.
What's that mean? What's that mean?
Well, I think Drew Holiday is a good pickup for them. I'm a firm believer in the NBA. It's a little different. In March Madness, I think the better team almost always wins. Yeah. NBA, superstars get their calls, right? You get their superstar calls.
Yeah.
But I think, the Celtics, by swapping Marcus Smart and getting Drew Holiday, that is somebody with a ring, somebody who does it on both ends. I really think he is a calming force both on the court and in the huddle that can help make things a little bit easier. I mean, sometimes the Celtics were winning, and it was Derek White.
Yeah.
Right? I think they have enough players now where Tatum's shortcomings don't mean the downfall of the whole team. They have enough players. Like Porzingis can hit a clutch shot. Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Drew Holiday can make a smart play. They have enough guys where I think they will be able to overcome. I do expect them to hold that Larry O'Brien trophy.
Yeah, well, and even with last night,
all that is true.
With last night too, they were 50. They were 50% from 3-point. They were 25 of 50 on 3-pointers. That's dangerous. Like, do you know what I mean? And then
listen,
Suns what 35%. So that's where the difference was last night. But when you could shoot 50 3-pointers and get 50% of them, you're gonna win most nights.
Yeah, but in playoff basketball, all that stuff goes down. It's a little bit more stringent. They're going to be, the refs are going to be a little bit more loose with the defensive calls now. Because next season they're going to change it. So that means the refs are already starting to get that news to chill because of this, where the bench players are scoring 80 points because nobody can play defense without getting called a foul. So they're changing it. And I'm telling you, when it comes to Tatum, because Woody is right. Holiday can play Kenny G in the huddle all day long. Everybody can be cool, drink green tea. I'm telling you this. They're going to pass Tatum the ball because he's the guy. And when they do, it's going to be on him. That's all I'm saying. And he hasn't proven that he can do it just yet.
Yeah.
Great haircut. Love the fade. Perfect lineup. Beautiful. Beautiful. He just can't line that shot up when he needed all the time.
Yeah, no, I've been saying it. We've been saying it, since we started the show, like last year, like that he's he's maybe the most overrated, overhyped player in the NBA. I really do feel that, and he's telling people, what was the interview he did like a couple weeks ago, where he's the best player in the NBA? I mean, I guess you got to say that, but come on, guy, seriously.
So, for a long time, my favorite quarterback in the NFL was called the greatest quarterback in the history of the regular season.
Peyton Manning?
For years. That was, yes, that's what Peyton Manning was called. Because in the playoffs, they always came up short. The Colts will go 14-1 and then lose first round of the playoffs, right? Like, it was like that for years. You know what I mean? So what I'm saying is none of that matters what you do with all these accolades when in the regular season. It's the playoffs and those chip moments that he has to come through. That's where it is with Tatum now. There's nothing else to discuss. I don't care about how great he is in the regular season. We know he's great, but he's not great when they need him to be.
Yeah, again, kudos to the big game, not conference game, but interconference. But again, I just don't think that Tatum's the guy. Now, Woody, you think that's not going to be an issue in the playoffs?
I don't.
Do you think they can, or do you think they can play through it? Like, do you think they can get away with Tatum not being played?
Oh yeah, sorry, that's more of what I mean. I'm not saying that he will ascend. I mean, he's been in the league for a little bit of time now. I just think that they kind of know that. And now that's why they got this great team around him. I think that is what's going to happen. I mean, and this, Tatum is like, to say most over, like he's still a top 10 player in the league. Like that, I don't think that's that. No, he's not top 10.
No, absolutely. I'm not saying he's not. I think he's great. You can make him number 1 in the league for all I care. I'm saying when it comes down to it. That's what I'm saying. There's players I trust more. Let me tell you. You know who
I'm not sold he's number 10. I gotta do the math on it.
Oh, Luke. Oh, yeah, definitely.
I gotta do the math on it. I'm not sold he's number 10.
You're not so. I mean, Gene, you're a hater though. You're like you got the Boston Celtics hate.
I'm a promotion
player in the league. If you look at the stats, he absolutely is.
Yeah,
right.
It's not even like a
but.
question.
It's just.
I mean, he might be. I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying I'd have to I need to do the math on it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you right now, this moment, that I think he's
there's not too much math to do.
But the clutch gene's got to be part of it. The clutch gene's got to be part of it.
So then tell me the name 10 players above him.
I don't want to do it on the spot. I'll come up with a list and we'll talk about it.
I mean, I get it. That may take time.
I don't. It's going to take a little bit. I don't want to sit and make people listen to me going, but we'll talk about that next week. Okay. I think that'd be a good topic next week. We'll talk about
Giannis, Luka,
Steph,
KD, Booker, LeBron, right? Like I'm
Booker.
already at like 6. You know what I mean? Like that you can.
I like Booker better than him.
This name and clearly
That's
say it's
that's
like
wild.
they're better.
That's
I
literally
love Booker.
wild.
I love Book. I think I would. Oh, I love Book, and but see, but that's what I mean. So you would say he's above Book. So it's hard to get 10 players that are better. That's the point I was making. So it's like, I'm just naming players that are like great that we can say like could possibly be in that. Would you put Jimmy Butler? Right? Would you do that?
Playoff Jimmy.
No.
Playoff
Right?
Jimmy.
But again,
Jimmy
but you
buckets.
would playoff
That's different.
Jimmy.
Celso says Jalen Brunson. I don't.
Right? Would you?
Jalen Brunson is not better than T.O.
I know. But
Hey, shout out to Jalen Brunson. It's dropping to 45 last night.
I love
You
Jalen
can get all your
Brunson.
Knicks news, guys. You know what? You can always get your Knicks news from the guys they were on before us. They were on at 11 on the channel with all the boys. They talking some Knicks every day. Not every day, but a bunch of days. And yeah, so they had a great show this morning too, talking about it. And the man had 45 points last night. He's more important to his team than the Celtics, than Tatum is to the Celtics, maybe.
I mean, I just feel like you're a Celtics hater, so I can't even take what you're saying with an objective eye.
I am hating. I'm hating. I admit it. I'm hating.
So is there another game?
Yeah, which other game we want to go? Let's pull up either one and we'll talk about it. I know we got a couple more games we're going to talk about. There we go. Let's talk about this one here. Is it me? Look, we're all on the same page, right? The semi-Sixers, which we never get past the semifinals. They are definitely in a sinking ship right now with no Embiid.
Well, Embiid. What do you mean? Like, what is like? They don't have Embiid, so
the Knicks have a lot of injuries too, and they're staying afloat.
They have Jalen Brunson.
Well, he was hurt for a minute, for a couple of games, and they haven't had Randall.
The Knicks have slid in February. Like their record have been horrible.
Okay, but they're still holding strong at the 4 seed.
Yeah,
they won the game they needed to win to stay where they're at.
Right.
Because Brunson's back, though. I feel like any team, when you lose your star player, especially like the Sixers, like Maxey is cool, but
if Giannis
he's not Joel Embiid.
No, he's not. But
Embiid's better than Tatum.
Yeah, Embiid.
I would say Embiid's better than Tatum. I would say Embiid. I don't know if you say Jokic. Do you say Jokic? They're both better than Tatum.
Jokic is definitely better than Tatum.
Oh, of course. Oh, Jokic, absolutely. What?
Yeah, I mean, Jokic literally is probably like the best player in the league.
Did you see Mad Dog yesterday say Jokic is going to be the best center of all time?
He is to me.
You already, or you think he will be?
Yeah, I heard him say that, and I think he definitely, barring injury, and keeps doing what he's doing. It's going to be hard to debate it because Shaq was the most dominant, but Shaq couldn't hit free throws. Shaq couldn't, and stay healthy long enough like the way that he did and stay dominant as long, right? But Shaq got 4 chips. So, it's like in a short time he was able to do something. So it is going to be really interesting to see if Denver can win the chip this year. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy for them.
It's going to be tough. Definitely tough.
Yeah.
So
but I would hold off on saying he's the greatest of all time. I would hold off. But Mad Dog,
he's not there yet. He can be, I guess. I like what Windhorst said. Windhorst basically was like, what did Windhorst say? He was basically like the way he plays the game, he doesn't put a lot of stress on his body, so he's going to be able to play better for longer. He's not really going to have that. He's not going to really have anything that's going to cause injuries going down the road. So I mean, with these Bucks and the 76ers, we're not surprised that this is kind of the direction that these both teams are going in, right? No Embiid. They have no shot without Embiid. Sixers, no shot.
Of course not. No. What team does without their main star? If Giannis,
that's what I just tried to say.
It's over. If LeBron and or AD went out, it's over for the Lakers. If Sabonis goes out for the Kings, it's over. If De'Aaron Fox went out for the Kings, it's over. If
Steph Curry goes out for the Warriors,
well, forget about it. We already
retire the franchise.
Yeah, like if Luka's not there, Kyrie still ball went 36 last night, 36 and 12. I think they still lost. Like there is you need
I get
that.
it.
100%.
I get it. So all right, let's so there's really not much to talk about this game here. Like I said, the Bucks are going to keep doing what they're doing. The Sixers are going to keep doing what they're doing. I love seeing Antetokounmpo almost get triple doubles every night. Like, it's a beautiful thing. Lillard's not the guy that I thought he would be, though. I thought Lillard was going to put up bigger numbers, man.
He's older.
He's not that old, though.
He
in NBA years he is.
He's had some good games for sure, but
I'm not saying he's had a bad. I'm not saying he's had a bad year by any stretch, but he's not.
I know what you mean.
I think we all thought when he went there that it was going to be like lights out, and it hasn't been really.
But you know, my cousin, because my cousin, he's a big gambler, so he always likes to let me know. I thought you
say he was Damian Lillard.
He was saying that, you know, Lillard's going through personal issues. You know, he's thinking about his kids. You know, he's going through a divorce. You know, and I know like everyone has their sob story, but I do think, you know, these are human beings, you know, so I do think that does play a role into what's going on in your life at the time. I mean, not everybody is Kobe can, you know, leave the courtroom and then drop 45 on your favorite team. You know, everyone's wired differently, especially this generation where I don't know if anybody can do something like that. So I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm giving Dame a pass. I've seen enough flashes this year to say that Dame is Dame.
How far can they go together? These two.
They can go
with Doc. I don't know. Doc is not the coach.
So you didn't like the pick in the beginning, like since he got there?
No, I mean, I think they could have won it all with Adrian Griffin. I mean, Doc is literally one of the biggest chokers in the history of professional sports.
Who's not on the court, who's not shooting, not passing.
He's the Jason Tatum of coaching.
Yeah, 3-1 leads. I mean, the dude that, you know, when they say playing chess, not checkers, he's the only one that's playing checkers, not chess.
He's playing shoots and ladders, kid.
He's like, hey, so what you want him to do? Hey, all right, guys, you know what it is. Sweep the leg. Coach, are you serious? Sweep the leg. Do you have a problem with that, Mr. Giannis? No, coach.
You know what I
mean? Is that what you expect him to do? I mean, damn, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know,
literally
what are you
for
gonna do
15 years.
The play, like, come on, man. I understand. Okay, I get it because it's happened a few times, right?
15 years. 15 years. He's at one of the best rosters in the league for 15 years. And he has one ring because everyone was not able to handle the Boston 3 party that first year.
Yeah. Yeah, that team was the first of the 3 teams of the 3 players, you know, 3-star teams.
Speaking of KG, what do you guys think? Hey, listen, what you think about what he was saying? When he was
what did he say this
Bronny.
time?
Oh, when
what did he say about Bronny?
Oh, what did he say about Bronny? I actually don't know.
No, that was the whole thing. It started with Bronny. Him and Paul.
He said his wife tasted like Cheerios?
No, that was Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, that was killer, right?
Woo, that was a low blow. No, when he said that Bronny, you know, playing one-on-one against LeBron, like, you know, he don't have a shot. He wouldn't score. And Paul Pierce was like, what are you talking about? Bronny's young, he's fit, he's athletic, he'll definitely get a bucket. KD said, no way. He said, you know, his daddy be on that balco. Right? That's what he said.
Oh, shit.
You ain't hear that?
No.
I didn't hear that.
It went everywhere saying that.
How did I miss that?
KG was basically insinuating that LeBron, you know, uses extracurricular thingies, right? That's why he's been able to last as long and all that. And so it brought up stuff Max Kellerman said years ago on First Take. Max Kellerman said the exact same thing. He was like, if you look at it, look at this, look at that, right? Like, and they've always buried it. So I just figured you guys that you guys would have heard about that. But KG
No.
said that on his
Wait,
thing.
wait,
He said,
when did this come out?
His dad, he said his daddy's on that new juice, that Balco. It was on his podcast with Paul Pierce.
I didn't catch it.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
didn't
that's
see that.
crazy. But not saying he is, don't nobody know nothing. But
Allegedly.
KG said it.
Allegedly.
Yeah, absolutely allegedly. Right?
I do
But
agree that
damn.
Bronny would score 0 points.
Right. And
I think he get a bucket or two. He'd get a
KG
bucket
said
or
nah.
two.
He said in one-on-one, nah. And he said especially because his dad's on the new juice, you ain't got a shot in hell. And I just felt like, wow. And everybody's like, yo, how this dude just gonna say that about LeBron?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Told you.
Oh,
Y'all
good
gotta
job.
listen. I ain't gonna be doing this
So.
show if y'all ain't gonna keep up with the current times.
Yeah.
Got me looking crazy out here, like I'm the only one, the onlyest one. I'm like, wait a minute, is that just me?
I was like, yeah, I thought maybe he was just talking trash or something like that.
No,
Bronny's
sir.
mom tastes like Cheerios. Honey Nut Cheerios.
Oh, he did not say that about Bronny's mom. Respect to Miss Savannah James. That is not correct.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying I.
He
You
did
just
not
said
say
it.
that.
He didn't say it.
No,
Yes, you did.
I didn't say.
He did
I'm
not
saying
say that.
You said it. You literally are the
He
one that said
told
it.
Carmelo Anthony
maybe she does.
on
Maybe
the
she-
court.
You know, you don't know.
That
Maybe
his
I
wife-
met Savannah James years and years ago. You don't know.
You better be careful. I just saw
Oh my
LeBron.
Lord.
That's a big man.
I'm
That's
about
a
to back
big
away.
man.
Yeah, I'm stopping. I'm sorry.
That's a big man.
Yeah.
Listen,
He might
Listen.
actually beat me up.
you damn right. Listen, you don't want that.
Yeah,
You know what
I'm not trying to
saying?
hit on his wife. I'm sorry. Have you said you guys the time that Sugar Shane Mosley hit on my wife? Have you said that?
Is that true?
Nah.
Yeah, we were at a barbecue and he was there. He was friends with the family at the barbecue, and he actually he didn't do it in front of me. He wasn't like he thought my wife was single or whatever at this thing because we were just it was a big barbecue, and he actually hit on my wife. It's
That's right.
It made me feel
You
pretty
made
good
you feel
about myself.
good.
Yeah, I was like,
yes,
he wasn't
I got
disrespectful.
somebody-
Yeah, he wasn't
Yeah.
disrespectful. He wasn't like it wasn't something like he did in front of me or anything like that. I found out later on.
He
And
just
he-
gripped her up.
No, he didn't.
Licked
Well,
the
yeah.
face. He licked the whole side of her face. I'm Sugar Shane. Enjoy
But
yourself.
I was like, hey, it made me feel like, hey, all right, I must be doing okay. Sugar Shane tried to hit on my wife. I don't know what Sugar Shane Mosley is nowadays. Patty probably knows that story too. He probably remembers that story.
That's
Yeah, we're
hilarious.
talking like 15 years ago. So,
Oh man.
yeah, good times.
Anyway,
But guys-
yeah, all right.
I think we're gonna get out of here. I think it's our time to get out of here.
Yeah.
But hey, guys, thank you so much for our first show. Can't wait to grow with this. And I'm so happy to do this channel. I think these guys are doing tremendous things. I can't wait to grow with them. I know you guys are excited too. I wish Nigel could have been here. And guys, also too, not only is Nigel going to be part of the show going forward, we are going to be having someone come in and do like a little 10 minutes Hollywood rant segment. So be on the lookout for her. Christina Johnson, she'll be in for that. Yeah, I mean, I'm excited about what's going to come up with this new channel, and I just want to thank them for welcoming us with open arms. I heard them. I was listening to the show this morning. They shouted us out. So thank you so much, guys, and I'm excited to be here.
All righty.
You guys too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All
There you
good.
go.
Thank you all.
All right, so guys, we want to thank our producer Celso, my man, James, Caleb, all the chat. Thank you for stopping by, and we'll see
Special
you on
guest
Friday.
Lauren Foti out here breaking
special
down
guest-
the
My
March
bad, that's-
Madness.
Disrespectful of me. All right,
You've been
guys,
on that kick a little bit. You was very disrespectful for the last 5 minutes.
I was.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to him.
I've been here for the long.